Russian ballistic missile strike on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. His home city of Kyiv, Erie, killed 19 people, including 9 children, on April 4th. The Ukrainian leader was born in Kyiv. He reached an industrial city with a pre-war population of around 600,000 people. The missile struck a residential area near a children's playground and wounded more than 24 others, according to the head of the city's military administration. Unverified videos on social media appear to show bodies lying on the street and a plume of smoke rising into the evening sky. The head of Kryvyi is defense. Alexander Vehicle said a residential area was hit. The missile exploded in the air, injuring more people. Children were killed on or near a playground. Syria Lysacek, the head of the Dnipropetrovsk region, where Trivia is located, said more than 40 people were treated for wounds, and the youngest was only 3 months old. Later on the same day, Velko reported more explosions, saying the city was under a mass drone attack that triggered fires in at least 4 locations. Ukrainian President Zelensky condemned the strikes, saying that diplomacy meant nothing to Russia. Zoroaster lived at the White House on Monday. Rescue operations are currently underway, incredibly rare after a strike by a Russian missile. Just a preliminary reports indicate it was a ballistic missile. As of now, 14 people are known to have been killed, including 6 children. My condolences is to their families and loved ones. Many others have been injured and buildings have been damaged. The missile struck an area right next to residential buildings, hitting a children's playground and ordinary streets in Kherson today. A Russian F-50 drone deliberately struck an energy facility, hitting the Kherson combined heat and power plant. These attacks cannot be random. Russians know it is an energy object, and such objects should be protected from attacks. Under commitments Russia made to the U.S. side. The Ukrainian president also stated that Russia has rejected a potential ceasefire and continues to need the war. Jim a little more muted. The shouting to prevent a ceasefire could have already been reached, but Putin rejected it. Since March 11th, Moscow has refused to agree to a ceasefire. They need this war, and it is clear that Russia will not be forced into peace through mere conversations or waiting. I am grateful to everyone in the world who helps make diplomacy and efforts for a just peace effective, and we count on America, Europe, and other partners in fight and their ability to pressure the real cause of this war. Russia's desire to destroy and kill zero all Russian promises and with missiles, drones, bombs, or artillery. Diplomacy means nothing to them. That is why Russia must be put under sufficient pressure so they feel the consequences of every lie, every strike. Every day, they take lives and prolong the war. Russia's defense ministry later claimed a high-precision missile strike had targeted a meeting of unit commanders and Western instructors in a restaurant, and that up to 85 were killed. However, it provided no evidence. Ukraine's military responded by saying that Russia was spreading false information to try to cover up its cynical crime. IT said Moscow had fired an Iskander and ballistic missile with a cluster warhead to maximize casualties. The Iskander is a Russian ballistic missile system that can have a range of up to 500 kilometers. The attack was among the deadliest on privacy since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022 and comes as U.S. President Donald Trump pushes for a ceasefire. German broadcaster ZDF reported that Russia has started transferring North Korean long-range artillery systems to annex Crimea in a potential indication that Pyongyang's involvement in the war on Ukraine could soon be expanded. According to ZDF, a video that appeared online on March 26 showed North Korean COGs and self-propelled guns being transported by train through northern Crimea. The train was spotted carrying 7-8 self-propelled artillery systems on flatbed railcars, along with military cargo, including a truck equipped with a crane. The truck, identified as a Chinese sign of truck power, had previously been seen in North Korea during military parades. However, its exact purpose remains unclear, according to ZDF. These same weapons played a significant role in previous attacks on Ukrainian forces near Russia's Kursk Oblast. North Korean troops have so far only been observed operating in Russia's Kursk region, where Moscow has been waging a counteroffensive against Ukrainian troops since August 2024. But with Ukrainian forces recently pushed back from Kursk, ZDF said Russia could quickly deploy a North Korean contingent to Crimea to target Kiev's forces in southern Ukrainian regions. The confirmed presence of coaxing artillery in Crimea, a part of Ukraine illegally annexed by Russia in 2014, marks a potential escalation in North Korea's direct involvement in the war, according to ZDF. The move could be a prelude to deploying North Korean ground troops beyond their current zone of operation onto Ukrainian soil. If such a deployment occurs, Pyongyang would definitely transition from being a supporter of Moscow's regional objectives to an active belligerent in the invasion of Ukraine. This would challenge Russia's narrative that North Korean support is limited to reclaiming its own territory in regions like Kursk. The artillery systems in question, 170mm cocks and guns, are among the longest-range conventional field artillery pieces in the world and can strike targets up to 40 kilometers away with standard shells and up to 60 kilometers with rocket-assisted munitions. Western military analysts warned that if deployed in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia, the region which Russia partially controls, the guns could be used to shell key cities like Kherson and Zappa in Asia. Zelensky said that European military planners could be ready within a month with details of a foreign troop contingent in Ukraine seen as critical to ending the war with Russia. Kyiv is seeking security guarantees from its allies in the event of a peace agreement with Moscow to prevent a repeat of its February 2022 full-scale invasion. Speaking to reporters in Kyiv after meeting British and French military chiefs, Zelensky said many other countries would also contribute to the effort, which envisages foreign troops patrolling Ukrainian land, sea, and airspace, the COP. Today we had the first meeting to sum things up. It was the first stage, very important meeting. It is not only the three countries that took part in today's meeting. Ukraine, France, and Britain are part of the process. There are many other countries. I do not want to say how many countries in this coalition. It will be a coalition that I think we need about 1 month, not longer, in our view, before we fully understand the structure. There's a good understanding among our partners what Ukraine needs, where the geographically sensitive places are, where we would like to have support. It was important for me to discuss strategic questions, not only questions concerning numbers, but also questions concerning the mandate of the structure that IT is important for me to give dates when we would like to count on the contingent. The team will present to me the agreement, its main points at the start of the next week, and after that technical team will basically be ready to travel to the United States and engage in a dialogue with the American partners. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One while flying from Washington, D.C. to Miami, U.S. President Donald Trump claimed that both Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian leader Vladimir Putin are ready to strike a deal to end the ongoing war in Ukraine.
Recently?
Not too long ago, yeah.
How did that go?
Good. I think he's ready to make a deal.
No progress still other than that?
I think a lot of progress. No, he's ready to make a deal, and I think that President Putin is ready to make a deal, and then you'll stop the killing of thousands of young people a week.
Did Kirill Dmitriev say that to your his counterparts in the U.S.?
Who?
Kirill Dmitriev, the Russian negotiator that's in Washington right now?
I don't talk about specific people. I just will tell you that there's a lot of good conversation going on about Ukraine, Russia.
Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrapped his first trip to NATO by telling reporters that Washington was monitoring Russia's actions closely to determine its seriousness about peace.
We will know soon enough, in a matter of weeks, not months, whether Russia is serious about peace or not. I hope they are. It would be good for the world if that war ended. But obviously we have to test that proposition. The Russians know our position in terms of wanting to end the war, and we will know from their answers very soon whether they are serious about proceeding with real peace or whether this is a delay tactic. It's a delay tactic. The president's not interested in that. If this is dragging things out, President Trump's not going to fall into the trap of endless negotiations about negotiations. We will know soon enough whether or not Russia is serious about peace. If they are, that'll be great. Then we can move towards peace. If they're not, then we'll have to reevaluate where we stand and what we do moving forward about it.
Russian President Vladimir Putin's investment envoy, Kirill Dmitriev, was in Washington this week. Rubio revealed without details that he had a chance to meet with Dmitriev, adding that more meetings were needed to sort out differences.